Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Memo here. Thanks for joining me while we take a look at the brand new Zeta Toys Superitron Minis, Skystrike and Downthrust, otherwise known to everybody else as Air Raid and Skydive. The first two releases, the leg bots for their third-party Legend Scale Superion. These guys are pretty awesome, I'm not going to lie. But let's see what they have in store for us. Stay tuned. So first off, let's take a look at Air Raid. I'm sorry, Skydive. To me, this is very reminiscent of the G1 toy. I'll try and find an image and put it right here, but he definitely has the look and color scheme, but he looks really good. I mean, he's got some very nice detail, as you can see, carved in, sculpted in. Looks really nice. The cockpit surprisingly does open. There's no additional detail in there, but it's a thing. That's pretty awesome that they did that. Looking at the back, you've got some wonderfully painted lightning bolts, as well as the metallic blue on the tail with another lightning bolt. It just looks amazing. Coming back to the back thruster, nice sculpted detail there. Looks good. And brings you to his weapons, which can mount underneath. Pretty nicely detailed. You do get two for each, and to do the job. Now, I will admit, Skydives were a bit tight, so I did shave it down a little bit with a blade, but I might do a little more just because, well, you'll see when we get to that point. Here's the view from the side. Definitely a robot hiding there, but it looks, in my opinion, pretty accurate to the cartoon, to be honest. Nicely done. There's a lot of die cast here. So the front of the legs are metal, the crotch plate and the chest, lots of heft here for such a small vehicle. He looks really good, and I have no complaints. I love the intake here as well. Looks good. So yeah, very nicely detailed indeed. Moving on to Air Raid, you get very much the same, nicely detailed, great sculpt lines and sculpt work in this very small bot. He looks really good. His canopy does open as well, although it doesn't lock in as well as Skydive's. It still works. Coming along the back, again, nicely detailed. The tail fins can move up and down. There's the view of the engines there. Again, the weapons do detach from the wings. And view from the front. In my opinion, very, very nicely done. And just for comparison, here they are with New Age Starscream, which, as far as scale, I think they actually do really well. They're supposed to be the same F-15, a little bit longer in Starscream, but overall, I think he looks really good. I think I prefer the shorter version, to be honest. This whole neck area of the cockpit for Starscream has always, to me, seemed like a little bit long. If you can see that, just looks a little long. But that's just my opinion. To each his own, right? So let's get Starscream out of here. And let's go ahead right into transformation. Now, transformation on these is actually really simple, and to be honest, it's fun. That's what these guys are. It's just simple and fun. So the first step for all the transformations, both of them, is you want to go ahead and disengage the back tail and just kind of get it out of the way. And this is where a spudger might come in handy, just to save yourself a headache. Go ahead and, I like to go ahead and pop the wings up because they can be a little difficult to get out sometimes. I mean, I'm sure you'll be fine without them, but it's that simple. Go ahead and bring these leg sections back and go ahead and extend the legs, which when you separate them, you should hear a satisfying click when it's all the way out. Or not, maybe not. But it's that simple. Go ahead and rotate your feet out if you can. Let's get our spudger just because, and give them a 180. Alright, once that's done, go ahead and bring your leg sections back. And you can see here, there's two different half circles. Just when it's transformed into bot mode, it goes into the top one. And then go ahead and fold your wing down. Give it a twist. Fold up the leg, and there you go. That's one side done. So do it again over here. Collapse. Give it a spin. You have to spin it because otherwise the wing won't clear when you fold it. Get that done. And boom. There is the lower body done. That's simple. Next, go ahead and open up the door here to allow the arm to swing. Go ahead and pop open the back, because the way these lock in is you have to open the back to get the top section out. And bring this back, and you'll see there, that's why you need to open the door to give clearance. Close this section back up, and you want to maneuver these so it's in a folded position. Like so. And collapse this, and they will fasten together. It's that simple. And fold the fins in. There's his back done. So now, last thing to do is the arms and the head. So you want to bring out the arms, and one thing to notice here, the side flaps will actually move into position for you automatically, which is nice. That's a nice feature. Extend the arms all the way out. Bring them down. Flip out your hands. All the way out. You'll hear that click. Flip out your hands. Down. Last thing is the head. Just pop this guy forward. Rotate the head up, and it'll align again with this hole into the same peg that it was locked into before. And you'll hear it pop back in. And there we go. There is Air Raid in his bot mode. And again, just very simple and fun is the way I see these guys. But they are pretty well sculpted and detailed. I'm gonna try and find a picture of Air Raid, put it right here. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. Zooming in close on that face sculpt, he's got nice silver face and blue eyes. It looks like at one point they were gonna go with light piping, or they just decided on cheap clear plastic, but they changed their mind, which I'm glad they did. Looks good. As far as articulation, it's on a ball, so you can get attitude quite a bit up and a little bit down. So that's nice. Shoulders can go out to there, full 360. Upper bicep rotation. Elbows will get you right at 90. You pull them out all the way, they'll get you right at 90. Maybe a little bit less, but we'll give it to them. There is ab rotation, waist rotation. Got to pull the back up a little bit, but it is there, so you can do that. No ab crunch, but what can you say? There's a nicely sculpted chest. Definitely some spots for some Autobot symbols. They did leave out the clear pieces that were on the originals in the masterpiece, but on such a small scale, I think that is something that can be easily forgiven. Going down the waist, you do have fully movable and you can get the leg all the way up, all the way out to the side, and back is limited to the sculpt. If this wasn't there, he'd go all the way back. But yeah, the skirts do get out of the way to allow for that. He does have a thigh cut. Knees, if you line them up properly with the sculpt, can give you a full 90-degree bend, which it's not doing right now, but it can. Feet, very simple on a ball peg, somewhat loose a little bit, but it does allow you to do up, down, rocker, side to side, pretty much whatever you'd need in order to pose this guy. So really well done. For him, we can bring in his guns. They do slide perfectly into the hands. Actually, those aren't his guns. These are his guns. So small, it's easily confused, but they do stay in place just fine. Alright, so let's move on to Skydive. Transformation is very similar. There's a few extra steps to Skydive here. First thing is you want to bring this and rotate it to the side. Be careful because this can come off during this spin, so just keep an eye on it. Push it off to the side there. Go ahead and do as we did before, is disengage this. Now you'll notice that it doesn't go all the way up. That's because with Skydive, the arm is actually concealed underneath his back. So what you want to do is go ahead and separate the legs. Let's go and pull the wings out first. And just to make it easier, we'll pop the back up on each side, and then we'll separate. And what that does is that lets you bring his legs sections back. Don't put them all the way down because we'll still need to get the legs out, or the feet out. And bring that up there and out of the way. So now go ahead and rotate the feet out and into position. You can bring your legs down. Similar locking mechanism. And there we go. As far as the wings, same thing. Bring them out, pull them up, and give them a rotate, and just like that. They can only fold one way due to the sculpt, so there you go. And extend the legs all the way out. So again, lower legs done. This is another location where it kind of differs from air raid. So bring your back piece, tilt this backwards, and you want to separate the two halves of the intake. And they're on kind of a double hinge, so that what they'll do is they will slide out and lay flat. Like so. And then connect that back. Once again, maneuver your arms so they can be in place. And this is a little bit finicky for me at first, but you're supposed to be able to slide it in like this, but first transformation and all, it didn't really want to work for me. But it does eventually go, and these can actually come off intentionally. That's for combiner mode. So if that happens, don't freak out. Oh, Memo showed me how to break my toy. But do what you can to get them in. They are somewhat finicky. It's supposed to go in from the other way, but this works. And we'll put our tail back on. Just like that. So now his back is done. And arms and head are the same way. So pull it out. You'll notice that side panel take shape. Extend the arms. Flip out the hands. Do it on both sides. And there we go. Last step, as before, is the head. So articulation is exactly the same, so we'll just take a look at the differences in detail. You've got a nice gold, yellowish painted head. Blue for the eyes. Looks really good. Nice silver paint on the arms. A lot of metallic paint on these guys. They really do look really good. Nice detail along the chest and everything. They both have that little nub, which is their stand-in landing gear for alt mode. Some nice sculpting along the crotch. All this is red and black paint. Coming down the legs, very nicely sculpted. These are die cast as well. Looking really good. And there is his backpack. So, I mean, the backpack has always been something that the aerial bots are actually known for. So, you can't really knock any points off for that. I think they both look really true to the character. I mean, they're not specifically G1 accurate. We'll put a picture of Skydive right here. But I think they look good. If you're familiar with the sculpting for the masterpiece version that they released of these guys, then you know what to expect. Pretty much the same sculpt, just brought down to legend size. And I'll show what I meant with his guns being tight. I mean, literally, I had to cut plastic off to get them to go in. But now they fit just fine. So there we go. Zeta Toys Skydive and Air Raid. Just for comparison, here they are with the New Age Starscream, which I think that is a reasonable scale, to be honest. And here they are with Magic Square Optimus Prime. Alright guys, final thoughts. Well, let's start with the cons. I mean, they're definitely simple, but that is actually going to be one of my positives too, to be honest. They do suffer for some tolerance issues, such as connecting the two halves of Skydive. And the hands and feet, to be honest, they're a little bit floppy. That's nothing you can't fix with some keys, but it's there. That's a little bit of a disappointment. But by all means, they are definitely heavier on the positives. They have some tremendous sculpt work. They're not G1 accurate, but still, they look good. They have wonderful paint work. There's metallic paint and paint all over these guys. That's something that Zeta did kind of, take the extra mile and went the extra mile and gave us a good quality product, to be honest, in my opinion. They're gorgeously painted, sculpted, and articulation is really top notch. So I can't wait to get these guys into Superion. If you're familiar with the Masterpiece version, then I think we can really know what to expect, because Zeta does a wonderful job with the combiners. Hopefully they're up to the same quality as the Magic Square Minosaur. And yeah, they are a definite recommend for me. As I said, I did purchase these from thechosenprime.com. I'm going to put a link to them in their store down in the description below. Stop by and definitely give that company a try. They are tremendous when it comes to customer service and getting the products to you. All that being said, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share. Please, all of that will definitely help the channel. This has again been Memo. I appreciate you taking the time to check the video out, and I hope to see you again next time.